Welcome, it's SVPod, featuring Stanford Steve and Red. My dog is just standing here in the shot. He can't figure out
why are you in my spot.
He's like,
Sniffing.
Who's the big dude in the chair? I'll sit down. There we go. Yeah. Here, Red, have a seat, buddy. I'd like to begin with this important announcement. Saturday night, college football window. Attention, Chris Long. Suck it.
Hate week.
How you like that?
Hate week.
You call us a city university. Yeah, well, we came down to your majestic country estate and stomped your guts out in the second half. Go sing your song on the lawn or whatever the fuck you do.
Fourth year.
Yeah, that. I'm fourth year. Cool. Anyway, I'm just having a little fun with my friend Chris.
Terps.
How about it? Nice bounce back after last week. So that's the high for your boy. I have a question for you. It's a trivia question. What do these numbers mean? It's like a riddle. 32, 59, 34, 49, 19.
Are those the... Is that the amount of points you lost by in winners?
Yes. I was the games I lost, I was getting 90 points. The teams I had in those games lost by 193. Do you know how hard that is to do? Apparently, just bet all the favorites. It's free. Purdue lost by 59. You were talking them up. They're going to be on fire. 59. I'm like, give me the 10.
It went off at like 7.5.
Well, a lot of sharp money. Oof. Get some Band-Aids because there's some sharps. That's what C. Long and I had UTSA Triangle of Toughness. That didn't get there.
No,
they lost by 49. Ole Miss, they just scores. They had like 290 yards in the first quarter. Winners doesn't matter. It's just
Wisconsin.
Yeah, they got beat by 32. They were getting 16. We'll talk about the actual college football, but winners, I just was curious if you knew what those numbers were. The teams I had lost by 193 points.
Is it time to reassess?
It is not.
Okay.
If I went to the casino tonight, I would play basic strategy. I would hit when I needed to hit. I would let the dealer try to bust. And here's the thing. If the dealer doesn't bust, you lose. If every favorite wins, I will lose. What am I going to do? Come in next week on winners and just hand out a bunch of favorites?
What are you going to quit?
Exactly. No.
I do.
I may start handing out favorites.
I do have to get this in, though, because we do take our bashings at him. But I got a text from Chick today, and he said, how's Pelt and the Boilermakers doing today?
Listen, I took them. They'd lost 66-7.
I didn't think Notre Dame was capable of scoring 30. They scored
They weren't.
More than double.
They weren't. They were capable of scoring 66.
Oof.
So a rough day for winners. Now, as for what matters in college football, it's a lot on this card.
Man.
Let's start at night because Georgia escapes Lexington. And escapes is the key word there. What's Coach Corso has said forever? You rarely get the same team 2 weeks in a row in college football. And that's from the Kentucky side. They were buns last week at home against South Carolina. And they battled their butts off tonight.
Oh.
It was personal for their quarterback.
Yep.
You understand, Vandergriff was in Athens.
And you saw the response from his team.
They knew what it meant to him.
Yes.
Like that speaks. I love that you said that. They clearly rallied around him, and they had a chance. They chose to punt the ball late.
Yep.
They've got a kicker who's got a bazooka for a right leg. Look, college kicker's the big joke. Well, they got a kicker that they could count on. And it was what, 4th and 1-ish?
No, 3.
You're right. You're right. It was
8.
And they had a third and 3, and Georgia brought the noise and the heat. I guess I get it. Georgia had struggled all night on offense, but you punt and you're just saying we're going to get the ball back. They did. There were 9 seconds left. I mean, I don't love the people that just blanket eye roll every decision and just blanket say you're supposed to go for it. In that spot, that game with that kicker, I'd have gone for that every single time. Show your guys, hey, we're going to take a shot. And you know what? You're probably going to lose anyway, but if you get it, now you can try to play clock, milk it, and give your kicker a chance to win it at the gun. But, I mean, Georgia won the game, so bully for them. But, you know, 13-12.
It's hard. You stopped them all night.
Yep.
He just made a 51-yarder.
I understand.
You're there and sitting here thinking about it now as I watched it. I still think the percentages are in your favorite opponent. I really do, and I get it, and it's brought to the forefront way more times now, right?
Well,
like the idea of going for it now.
It's just accepted. It used to, everyone plays like we used to play in Madden when it first came out. You know, that was the joke. It's not Madden. Well, people play like it is now. Everybody just goes for it all the time.
I totally get it.
And anyone that watched this game knows that what you're saying totally makes sense because it was a defensive game. They stopped Georgia all night long. But now it's different because what's everyone talking about? Every coach has got a 4-minute drill. Georgia's going to try to figure out how many first downs do we need to exhaust the clock. And then there was some officiating that sort of extended it. It just, at some point, it was like, look, we got to pop.
We could get to officiating almost made me miss my 6 o'clock flight today in the game earlier. So
guys got a plane.
A pod. We got to get a pod done.
Yep.
But I thought Kirby was really good in the postgame, though. Like, just talking about the idea of judging teams when you go on the road in the SEC. That's a guy that's lived in this conference. He's played at, he's coached at multiple schools in this. He's coached, underdogs in it. He's been a favorite, and now he's got this win streak going. But he said you can't. People that aren't in it don't know. You can't judge it. He knew what he was getting, and he said my team didn't listen to the message that they were given.
Rat poison. Plus 24, baby. Winner. That was the one. They won the game.
Yeah.
You can eye roll all you want about it just means more. And when teams lose, you get to make jokes. Okay, that's fine. What he's saying is true. They were a bullseye. I said the other night in winners, I keep going back to that segment, but that segment doesn't matter. The point I made does. I just was banking on Kentucky having pride. And and Stoops is a guy that has made them a program and a place where really, if we're being honest, and there's been a lot of back and forth between he and the former basketball coach who's now at Arkansas about them they've become more than just something to occupy people's time until Midnight Madness. Mm-hmm. It's a program.
Yes.
And they run it, they play defense, they produce pros.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have gone for it. You wouldn't have.
Got it.
Georgia wins. What is it, 40? How many in a row? 42?
42, I think Molly said at the end.
Regular season games.
That conference.
That's a joke. I'll keep going backwards at night, and things that I think are interesting / matter potentially. Ewers injured. Arch comes in.
Uh-huh.
Now, UTSA, we're big fans of that program.
Yep.
Coach Treller's done a nice job. They don't have what they've had the past couple of years. People graduated finally after like 19 years at quarterback. They got a bunch of guys that got kind of robbed in the portal.
From Texas.
That hill will get steeper for Texas as we move forward. But, I mean, I don't know. It was an abdominal. Arch gets out there. He had a lengthy run.
They didn't lose a beat, Scott.
That's true.
They did not lose a beat. And I thought it was awesome this week to hear Sark say he showed his team Notre Dame last week. Mm-hmm. After they go to Michigan, after Notre Dame went to A&M and put on the field what they did. And it's amazing. A lot of Sark naysayers in the last, I'd say 18 months, they're not out there anymore.
We're back. I mean, that was the thing. Well, now they are. Made the playoff last year. In this NIL portal era, they're not going to get outspent. And so when he came on with me on SportsCenter, he talked culture, and I admittedly kind of roll my eyes at culture because I think that's something. What I always say: you put it on T-shirts and you put it on a poster in your wall. If it's real, it'll show itself. And he says he really thinks it's real. I think it's tricky because, I mean, Arch comes in with more accolades than any backup in America. But I think he also has that last name where I think he kind of, I'm good. Like, I'll get my chance and my time. There won't be a controversy, but what a luxury when you can lose your first round top 5 pick and the dude that comes in behind him, you just keep right on trucking. They won by a lot. Mm-hmm. Anything else from that game you want to just say other than that them not having a game where it was close or even remotely debatable?
No, it's exactly what he wanted to do and what that program has established.
Yep.
And when you see them in person, it's like, holy shit. They got athletes all over the place.
Oh yeah, you saw him walk out of the tunnel.
I mean, I saw 2 first-round picks at tackle last week with Texas, and I saw 2 more today, and maybe a third at center
at LSU.
Oh man,
we're going to work our way back to that.
Ahead. Yep, I got
work our way back to that. From the night window, Tennessee could have scored 100. I don't know if you saw the halftime score there. They had 56. Kent had not many yards.
And I knew Heupel would do this. He's the new Billy Tubbs. He's just going to score as many as you can. 30-0, goes for an onside kick, gets it. End of the first quarter. He was laying 49 all week. It didn't move. I'm like, this line has to go to 50. He's going to score 60. I know he's going to score 60. If he can, he's going to score 70. I gave him out on game day today. Minus 49.
Well, they could have scored 1,000.
Yeah.
So he didn't try to score as many as he could have because they could have.
They're going to get to the point where they are. You remember Billy Tubbs, Oklahoma basketball,
of course,
would beat teams by 80 every single chance he got. That's what Tennessee football is, knowing they only have a couple games that mean anything on the schedule. They love it. I get it. You got to do what you want. They have the offense to do it. And most importantly, I say it every week, they have the defense. And I can't wait to be in Norman next week for that matchup. That's a big boy game because both defenses are awesome.
And the Tennessee-NC State game was a road game in a sense, but Tennessee's able to take over a half of that stadium and did. You're not doing that in Norman.
No.
So that'll be
and then being the first SEC home game for Oklahoma, I've said forever, their video entry to the stadium is probably my favorite. When you are in a stadium and you see the past trophies and the history and
Oklahoma?
Yes.
Really?
Oh, God. Scott, Jamal Holloway, I mean, the Boz, Switzer. I mean,
listen, my grandma's from Miami.
I can't wait till they come on the field next week. It's going to be awesome.
I go back to the Tinker Owens days, though. The real ones know. Those are the old school
What do you think
folks.
that line is?
Tennessee's going to be favored.
7?
Not that much. Shouldn't be.
Oklahoma and winners. Book it.
I think what I'm learning is this. I think I'm only taking people that are in their weight class plus points. There's all this bullshit where you take
people. If you're listening, that is progress. He's not doing it blind anymore.
It's not blind.
It's kind of blind.
It's a little blind.
You had
Wake Forest. Let me tell you what. I watched Ole Miss scored in like a minute and a half, and I'm like, well, I'm fucked here. They had 290 yards of offense at the end of the first quarter. They play Georgia Southern next week. I'm looking at Ole Miss because I want to know when do they play somebody.
Georgia.
Well, they go to South Cack.
LSU. They go to LSU.
They go to South Cack. They got Norman coming into their joint, and then they got Georgia, Florida. No, Ole Miss doesn't play LSU.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, I missed it. They go to LSU. October 12th.
That's the day.
That's the day.
Yeah.
Let me just say, Ole Miss, that thing that they got going there is real.
I've said it.
Yeah, but I just like watching.
They haven't had the opponent.
Well, I mean,
they didn't have. Tennessee has NC State, and I said today about Tennessee, 3 most impressive teams in the country. Georgia dismantled Clemson, which is a big name program. Texas went to Michigan, reigning champs, and Tennessee. I put that win up there as the most impressive in the country. And Ole Miss is – I love what I picked them to go to the playoff. I picked them to play in the SEC championship game. I love what he did in the portal. He got 2 guys off the Joe Moore Award, Washington offensive line to go with those toys. Everybody – I mean, you say Juice Wells' name in Columbia today, and people wanted to cry because they knew how good he was. Injuries, whatever you want to say, portal, money. He's at Ole Miss. And if you saw the catch against Wake Forest today, one-handed, left-handed.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Ole Miss is –
they're serious.
And here's one thing. Ole Miss and Tennessee, those coaches, the fan bases, the players, they know this has to be the year. They've done everything they have in the portal,
and that's what makes it fun.
It's awesome,
right? And you could say the same thing about an Ohio State team. Like they've pushed all their chips in the middle,
no doubt,
and it's got to be now. And the kind of pressure that exists at Ohio State, I don't think it exists. It's different at Ohio State than it is at Tennessee or Ole Miss. Just different.
Mm-hmm.
Like Ohio State, they just haven't been able to beat the one team that they beat for a decade straight. And now people get mad about it. But your point is accurate. I just think that it's just the stakes are higher, and the got to do it sort of degree of got to do it is just, I think, the highest in Columbus.
And those 2 coaches in Knoxville and Oxford are saying, "Bring it."
Well, good. Yeah, you have to embrace that. You could do one of 2 things.
Yeah.
You could let it eat you alive, or you can use it as fuel. I want to just say I didn't give Mountain Winners. Thank God. It would have been another team that got absolutely boat raced because it fit the bill. Little home dog. Everybody loves Indiana. Signetti, he got on the mic in Assembly Hall and talked a whole bunch of crap. And I'm like, I know you're a good coach, but maybe dial it down a little. I get what you're doing. You're preaching to the choir, but he starts talking about everyone sucks. Remember that? He's like, Purdue sucks.
He said, what's the big deal? We're going out to play in an old stadium in California.
They won 42-13.
It was over in the first quarter.
That's
polished. They look really polished.
I watched it and I'm like, ooh, okay, because this was again, you're in the ring with somebody in your weight class. A lot of these games, like Ole Miss, all right, okay, Furman and MTSU.
Yeah,
we love Murfreesboro. All due respect.
Sorry.
So, I mean, Indiana. I just want to acknowledge that they haven't lost a game, and they went out to the Rose Bowl and won by a ton. All right, working our way backwards here because there was a ton of things that.
Yeah.
You know what? Let's just go all the way back to where you started the day, because that game was an absolute.
My Lord.
12-ring circus.
Scott.
I don't even know what to talk about from it.
First off.
Okay.
I can't not
get
Sandstorm out of my head. Oh my freaking God. And our guy, DJ Griff, does a great job. I go out at 7:30 in the morning with Desmond. We tape our Sports Center hits, and it's going. And I'm telling you, the videos, I'm on my way, 5 a.m., wake up, I'm on my way to the office, 6 a.m., and I'm looking at the videos. 4:30 a.m., they tried climbing the fence. First off, last night, they metal zip tie the gates to the stadium. Our runners are still in the office trying to set up everything up. They got locked in the stadium last night. They got to get out. They're scrambling. They all make their rides. They're the best staff in the world. Get us. We're on the way, 6 a.m. And I'm watching the videos. I'm like, they're climbing. 7:30, we go out. People are freaking bombed. Grown
shit house.
Ladies with little nips. Hey, in the clear. I already got my clear purse for the game.
He's talking about the little bottles of booze.
$7:30.
No. Not the Kelsey
people
situation.
Know. People know.
I know. I understand.
Little shooters.
There you go.
I'm like, it's not even light out yet.
It's fine. They're fine.
Games in 6 hours.
It's fine.
Sandstorm. Sir Big Spur. I didn't know if it was going to pee or poop. Coach Saban got worried. I felt bad for him.
It's all fun and games till you're holding a big ass chicken and he poops on you. Rooster. Sorry, I know.
It was on. Crowd was awesome. We go in for the last hour. Sun comes out. We're roasting out there. It was beyond musty.
They say Columbia is one of the hottest places on the planet.
Darius was awesome on the show. Hearing him in person, you forget how good he is live.
Oh, he's the best.
Coach Saban Coach Saban got out there at 9 a.m. He's like, when is he playing Wagon Wheel? When is Wagon Wheel? And Coach gave the info today. Bama wins. Karaoke party at his house. His song was Wagon Wheel. He got out. He was singing it.
Really?
Oh yeah, it was great. That's all he wanted for an hour and a half. Going to the stadium. I mean, it's rock. Like there's nothing better. And seeing the people walk out of the stadium trying to rewind the game of a marathon, but like after walking, it's like that's why we're South Carolina. And it's like
it was 17-0.
It was rocking. I mean, that place and the Sir Big Spur screech that they play every third down.
Do they do? Well, I was going to ask you.
Ask
you. Is there? What's? I don't want to say worse because I don't want the fans to be upset. But what will you hear in your head more? The Nittany Lion roar from Penn State or the chicken?
The combination of the rooster and the
I know it's the rooster. I'm sorry. I keep saying
and they have their own chant to it. But, like, again, you knew they had the score and play field position. They get the block punt. They get the big run from Sellers. Like, it's everything
they answered
you want.
every single time. But here's the Cliff's Notes to me. And again, when you go somewhere, you have so much more perspective and there's so many more layers. I'm just watching it, and it's a bananas game. Their quarterback gets hurt, but they kept answering. But LSU is in a we better win this game, / gotta win. And I give them all the credit in the world. And I know that South Carolina fans, and lots of fans do this, and if I were a fan of your team, I'd be complaining about officiating too, because there were some things that didn't go your way, to put it mildly. But at the end, I don't know what Stoops was doing in Kentucky. I don't know what Beamer's doing there. Like you're playing for a long field goal with a guy who's never kicked until this year. I mean, you're banking on a lot just to get to OT. The game again. I'm trying to. I don't know how to make sense of what I saw.
It's 17-0. You're
right.
Like, all right, this is it. LSU, you got to do it, and they get the run game
score.
going.
Exactly.
They go right down.
You know what the good news of being down as much as they were is that there was a ton of time where they didn't have to just start playing all go. They could play football, and they could play their full playbook and be patient because there was time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no doubt.
And they did that.
It's funny you said you got to have it. I said all week it's not a must-win, but it's a gotta-get game. You got to get that one. You're favored on the road. You got humbled in the game in Vegas where you played almost good enough to win. Your coach snaps after the game. You come home, you play a tricky in-state team, who I think is actually a good FCS team, watching them on tape in Nicholls State. But you got to go, and it's a matchup you feel confident in because you have NFL talent on the offensive line, and all week, all we heard about was South Carolina's defensive line. And the thing that stuck out to me about that, they play 9 guys up front.
They have a lot of depth.
It's
in the
unbelievable.
trenches. And they got dudes.
South Carolina wore their correct uniforms with the white helmet, black jersey, white pants. That was good. But Nussmeier was really, really cool to watch in person, man. Like he made mistakes. He made great plays. He went over to his offensive line every single time that something bad happened. And then I thought the game was over. Like LSU has the bad snap. South Carolina gets it. And it's like, all right, I don't know if they're going to be able to do this again.
I agree. And then they did.
When LSU's, you thought they would get a stop and it was over, they didn't. Big play. When you thought it was done, they get a big stop and a fumble. The opening drive of the second half, I didn't know. I didn't have Herbie and Fowler in my ears, but all halftime I'm wondering. I'm like, I don't know if Sellers is going to be able to play in the second half. Mm-hmm. And then LSU gets the ball to start. They go right down. They get stopped on downs.
Yep.
And it's just
and as
every single.
And it's the kind of thing that as the game is sort of winding down where they've got to score late, you can forget the fact that they had first and goal from the 2.
Yeah.
And then they had a 4th and goal from the 1 and threw a pass and got knocked out. That was a hell of a stand from South Carolina, which I think when there's that many layers of mayhem, you can forget, oh, yeah, that happened too. And it did.
But Ashford has to come in as a quarterback.
Yep.
He's the kid that was at Oregon, and he went to Auburn. Throwing is not his strength. And they brought him in a little package last week, watching the tape against Kentucky to get him in the mix. And
in the mix.
I thought they threw the ball too much when he came in the second half. I would have. I mean, Rocket was going, but again, this is about LSU and just being there again. We know all the people there. They're as resilient a bunch as anything, and their offensive line coach Brad Davis was so good every single series. The center, I think it's Chestnut 79, who I love. He's a true sophomore, I believe. Going to be a stud. Snaps it off Nussmeier's face mask. They come over, and they're distraught. Like this, they don't know if they're going to get the ball back. This is going to be it. It could be 2 possessions, the whole 9. And got them going. Got them right back in the mix. Got everybody on the same page. And it was just incredible to watch because I'm sitting there like, South Carolina, all this, 4 hours, and they're going to lose this game?
That was what I thought about when it ended, is that a program that when you're trying to build and you're trying to ascend, that games like that, as much as I thought LSU's got to have it, they've got to have it from being the playoff conversation.
Yeah.
I think from South Carolina's perspective, I don't think they're done beating people. I think they've got
a factor.
I agree with that. We agree about that. But when you're trying to ascend and you're trying to establish, what's that buzzword? Culture. And that culture is based on belief and trust and winning games like that. That's a game that when it's done, whether it's their fans or their coaches or their players, they've got to be looking at each other going, how in the hell did we not win that game?
2 things.
Okay.
LSU. People love taking shots at Brian Kelly.
Oh, yeah.
He berates players. He does this.
It's mad.
He does that.
Yep.
And I saw being there in person, not one time did he go up to a player. He let his coaches coach. And it was incredible to see. He had everything on the right page. It is complete chaos. You're down 17-0. The place is a zoo. And they claw back. And it's one of my favorite things, and I hate to say it's to South Carolina fans, but it's happened in every building I've been when they play on the road. And when you hear that LSU chant at the end of a game and the place is filing out and that purple and yellow is not leaving, it's to a T. It's why it's our favorite place. It's why it's my favorite fan base. The resiliency that we talk about knocking people down and they're getting back up. It's to a T. That's their culture. That's that. And they proved it again today. And it was in that atmosphere to be able to do that with not a Joe Burrow, Jefferson, Chase, the whole thing. It was pretty darn impressive. It really was.
In that same window, it's the second week in a row, the Fox game is an SEC road game to a Big Ten opponent. Bama, it was the exact script I told you, I think, the other night.
Yep.
Because I said, I'm taking Wisconsin in winners, and I said it's going to be 38-6 late third quarter or thereabouts. It's amazing how much this game played out like the week 1 Penn State-West Virginia game in this way. Right before halftime, Wisconsin's down there. They try a field goal to make it 14-6. It's a one-score game.
I missed the beginning. Wisconsin went right down the field and went up 3-0 to start the game, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Long field goal. But they moved.
Yep.
Van Dyke got hurt. But they've got a chance to make a field goal. It's a one-score game. You're in it. They missed the field goal, and I'm thinking, all right, Milroe's not a thrower necessarily. I mean, they've certainly got weapons, but on the road, it's comfortable. I assume you're good. Or 2 plays, 17 seconds, 73 yards later, it's 21-3, lights out. I want you to hear this. I wrote this down because this is wild to me. Watching Ole Miss score like that. Watching Oregon, how about them? Second half, 27-0 Civil War game. In a game against a team,
their crib.
In a game that means the world to them. And you're like, okay. Gilbert he was 20 of 24. They hadn't looked great in the second half against Oregon State. I'm used like teams like that. I think of as being quick score teams because they are. Alabama, the last 4 touchdown drives, Steve, they had took 17 seconds, 2 minutes and 20 seconds, 1 minute and 9 seconds, and 8 seconds. I'll do the math for you. That's 4 touchdown drives in 4 minutes and 4 seconds. Wisconsin, on the other hand, had a touchdown drive. It was 17 plays and took 8 minutes and 14 seconds. Their defense, Alabama's making it excruciating for you to do anything. You wouldn't have seen this year on the field. Wisconsin early, they're kind of trading punches. They had a 4th and 1, could have tried a field goal. They went for it. They run a dive into the teeth of Alabama's defense, and I'm like, well, that's a choice. What are you doing? I get your identity, big Wisconsin lineman. Okay. It didn't work, and it isn't going to work. It was just really interesting, Steve, to see their ability to throw it for big chunks when they wanted, their ability to score quickly. Again, 4 touchdowns in a total of 4 minutes and 4 seconds. Now, they had a short field. I get that's part of it. But the other one was 73 yards and 2 plays in 17 seconds right before halftime. Bang. And it's the second week in a row that an SEC team went into a Big Ten venue, and Michigan's not great this year. We understand that. And nor is Wisconsin. Kind of an interesting year. Like, what is Wisconsin? What's Fickle going to be?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wisconsin people felt like that's, and I think you should be happy to have Fickle. But you know what? Like, Chris, one of those sort of like Mullen at Florida deals where you felt like, yeah, we should be better than this. Like, should you?
Also shows you how important the quarterback situation is.
That too.
Well,
I don't know what happens if Van Dyke doesn't get hurt.
Big Cat said Wisconsin wins.
Well, he texted me and said, I just did a beer bong. I'm too old to do a beer bong. I said, just take your shirt off. You can always do that. It's fine.
He's all skinny now.
Is he?
Yes.
Skinny? Real skinny or Big Cat skinny?
Skinny.
All due respect. What is he on the O?
I'm not.
Everyone is. It's fine. Do whatever you want.
I am not.
I'm going to say, no matter who was their quarterback, it wasn't going to be a 32-point difference at the position. It's just interesting in these kind of cross-sectionals to see, like, strength on strength. Bama looks the part.
Well, I will say this. This is the first game. Now, you got to go back 3 weeks. 3 weeks, or go back to the offseason, right? Proctor, the whole circus going back to Iowa, comes back to Alabama. They get him slated. He misses spring ball, but summer camp, they have an offensive line slated. Proctor, Booker, Brailsford, Ferguson, Pritchett. That's if they play, they're a top 5 offensive line in the year. Warm-ups week 1, Proctor gets hurt. Now you got to start shuffling everything. They get Proctor. He practices all week this week. They get him back. Why is that important? They're going on the road. Your offensive line, you need your offensive line when you go on the road.
Okay.
Today was the first time they had their offensive line that they thought they were going to have going into the season. And that's why it was a scary deal for me, because I said if they are that unit and knowing how good DeBoer is with the system, knowing that we have everything in place and your quarterback's mindset, I got my guys in front of me. I don't care who we're going to play. We're going on the road, fine. I got my guys in front of me. That's what was the scary aspect for me with Alabama today, because Wisconsin is not your traditional Joe Thomas, all these offensive linemen, J.J. Watt, the defense. They don't have those guys.
They got bullied.
Yeah, exactly.
Alabama,
to that point.
Alabama.
That point.
They just bullied them.
Yep.
They just bullied them. But that was impressive. Oregon, as I said, going into Oregon State. Notre Dame going into Purdue. Those were 2 games you and I both felt like means a lot to the home teams. Didn't make a hill of beans worth of difference in either one of them. Salute to Wazoo. They got their chance.
Cougs.
You called it all week long.
I did.
Did you give them out on game day?
Sure did.
What'd you give on game day?
Tennessee, Wazoo, Florida.
So another 2 in 1 week.
Correct.
That's 6-3.
Should have been Indiana. Anyway.
Remember when I was saying to Florida fans they need to be patient? and take a page out of the Florida State book. Let's put those two together in a pot right now. What do we got? I don't think that the Florida folks are going to have patience there.
No, but I do think in a way that no one's going to spin this, but looking at that game, and there was a big delay right after the first quarter.
Lightning.
I got to the airport, and I'm like, wait, what? Oh, wow, there's a whole lot of game left here. Didn't know anything that transpired. I think College Station got a guy that could coach. And no one talks about it. Everybody just talked about Florida the whole week. I was fired up for Florida. I was like, I said today on game day, this is my last stand with Florida. You can't do it now. A&M, what they looked like against Notre Dame. A&M didn't have their quarterback.
Nope.
And they went in and scored 33 points.
Yep.
That's a dangerous team. That's a dangerous team. And like Kirby talked about, when you go on the road in the SEC, now you got to have your ears perked up when you're going to College Station, because that defensive line is as good as anyone. Serious. But again, everybody's just going to talk about Florida because people love to talk about the next coach that's going to get fired.
I may have married into a family of Gators, and that there's a text thread about
who do they want. Come on, get it out there.
You know how this goes.
Gruden?
It's not so much who you want as not wanting what you have. And this is where I always say careful, because, the Mullen situation, he follows a guy that won a lot. And so they just went to a lot of New Year's Day bowls, but they thought, well, we're supposed to be better than double-digit wins and whatever else. And so then, well, now here you are. And, Lagway, you've got a guy that at quarterback could be the future.
Could.
Could.
You going to keep him?
Who the hell knows?
Like in this day and age?
No, I don't. Listen, everything's a one-year rental. Everything, everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I hate that I feel that way. Watching anybody anymore. Anybody, anywhere. And you think it can't happen to you? Bama had one of the best safeties in America. He plays for Ohio State now. That's the thing about the sport. Is you don't think it can happen to you? It can happen to anybody, and it will. So I don't know if they'll keep him or not, and I don't know who makes a difference. I don't know. I don't know what you need to do. I don't have some magic answer. I was preaching patience. I know that it will not happen if this is the way it's going to go. And by the way, they haven't hit the bumpy part of the schedule.
They're not even close.
No, these were two home games that you're thinking
maybe. Hopefully.
Liked them. I didn't have them today. It's amazing because they.
Got a question for you. You're around the Florida folks.
Yeah.
Do they love the Spurrier years more or less than the Urban years?
I think the Urban years.
I
think what you do is you just, and then this is me. This is my sense of it. I think this is how I would look at it. I think you look back at that and you remember it the way you choose to remember it, which is that we won a lot and that was awesome. And you don't go, the other, all that stuff doesn't trouble you? Not really. Which is why I always say when the NCAA comes in, when it comes to basketball or whatever, and say they're going to vacate. Vacate? What are you talking about? I was at the Orange Bowl. We beat Oklahoma. Vacate? And then that didn't happen. But like Michigan, you have to take down a banner. Cool. Not in my mind. Not in the walls of my basement. What are you talking about? So I think they remember. I think they.
I agree.
Look at the Urban years. Also, they didn't get to give up 900 rushing yards to Nebraska when Urban was there.
But Spurrier, they were fun. Like they were a new guy.
Oh, yeah, and they made fun of Tennessee. And
can't
spell Citrus Bowl without Tennessee. He was great. He was pre-Twitter, just troll, just unstoppable. Florida State's 0-3, Steve.
Oh, man.
As I said,
I didn't have the guts to take Memphis as my super dog either.
As I said earlier, because of the manner in which y'all conducted yourselves, it isn't heartbreaking. But I watched it today, and
never led, right?
No, they're just not good.
They got to go to SMU. What's that line?
I don't know. SMU's been strange this year. Like their good's pretty good.
Better than Florida State.
Oh, well, for sure. I mean, Florida State scored 9 points today against Memphis. Defense isn't their calling card.
Wow.
Florida State's offense is just that bad. I went back and found Danny's tweet that he said he was keeping receipts when they lost to Georgia Tech, and I just tweeted like a meme of the face of a guy like eek. Danny just said people don't know him well. He's waiting. He'll wait forever. Like, how many years do you think you get to wait to give us shit about the fact that you were keeping receipts after Georgia Tech? Your team's 0-3. Like in 2029, you're going to give me a hard time because I sent a meme out? Okay. Have fun at the circus, bro. I mean, do what you want to do. I was just having a little fun because you said you were like taking notes. It's like, okay, well, so is everybody else. It's just wild. It's really wild. 0-3. The Florida situation is pretty grim. Florida and Florida State both are sort of like, yikes.
Looking at the early slate, how didn't Michigan cover?
They're lucky that it wasn't closer. They were Arkansas State spent a lot of time in Michigan territory and there were turnovers. I don't know. They didn't play
I saw that final score. I was like, whoa.
I don't know that it was that close either, but it wasn't like it was supposed to be a blowout. I'm trying to find I'm not doing a good job here looking through what I'm trying to find, which is I wanted some numbers from that A&M Florida game. And my phone won't open up. This is good radio / podcasting. Isn't it? Who's having fun? No, this isn't exciting. Toledo went into Stark Vegas and beat the crap out of Mississippi State.
Coach Saban, another super dog winner.
You had Toledo?
Yeah.
Oh,
Did you hear it? He told a story today. Last week, he got the field named after him.
Yep.
So his granddaughter's in the car, and they're going through his picks that he made on the show. And she's like, I think she calls him Pop Pop. It's like, Pop Pop, that's another one you got wrong. He's like, yeah, another one. She's like, I got an idea. When you have to make a pick, the team that you think is going to win, take the other team.
What's her name? That's his granddaughter?
Yeah.
She can come on and do winners.
Took her 2 weeks on game day to watch them, and she came up with that. Oh, it's hilarious.
Bless her heart. You know what? I'm doing it. I'm gonna try it.
Did you catch any Missouri?
Yep. It's funny. It's funny you said that. Boston College, Castellanos is good. He's
BOB is good.
I agree with that. They got who do they have coming in for the red bandana game? Give me 1 second. They have
Florida State. Oh no, they already beat them.
Castellanos and BOB. I love it because I'm a O'Brien fan. The red bandana game. By the way, I watched the red bandana piece the other day that Tom Rinaldi did that Ed Burns voiced. It's just absolutely stunning to me how great that piece is.
Saw Uncle Tom. I don't know if I mentioned this. I saw Uncle Tom in Ann Arbor last week. He said to say hello.
He's the best. Michigan State, by the way, going in. Michigan State at Boston College. Missouri scored 24 straight points to win the game, and BC had a late score. So it was I believe it was 20, whatever it was, 14-3. Missouri scored 24 consecutive points, and they ended up winning by 6. I just don't think Missouri has the kind of explosive ceiling offensively to keep up with the teams that we were talking about earlier.
I worry about their defense. They have to replace 4 guys on defense, and the quarterback's good. He knows what he has to do. I thought it was a super huge heads up to slide after he got the first down to get that done.
Yeah.
I do think the receivers are studs.
Well,
but I've said all off season, I don't think Missouri could be better than they were last year, which is what they're going to have to be because Ole Miss is, Tennessee.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't think like Burden is a top whatever pick. Like you talk about, look at the NFL and the trend of two positions go top of the draft, quarterbacks and now wide receivers. That dude's going wherever he goes, and you'll go, yep, I'm thrilled we got him. I just think I think there's teams with higher.
They don't have a tough schedule though.
No, that's
they
true.
They have to go to Bama. They get Oklahoma to come to them. It's not bad at all. Did you catch Coach Drink on game day today?
I didn't see that.
He had a mechanical dog. He said Herbie and Ben and Lane and Juice are getting too much shine. It was the freaky. It followed him all over the field.
See, I don't.
And then he had him doing hind leg squats. It was freaky.
We got AI and fake dogs.
Freaky.
I don't need any of that. I will say that just as I'm jotting stuff down throughout the day, keeping tabs and stuff. By the way, I got some note on here. I don't even know what it means. It says 27-6. It says 426 yards, and I don't know who it's about or what it means. I should take notes that means something. I don't know what it means though. I found this really. It's just funny to me. There are always weird games in the SEC. That Thanksgiving time frame. Mm-hmm. There's that. Everybody plays somebody that you're like, why is Alabama playing Samford? Mm-hmm. Well, this isn't that November time frame, but one of the weirdest games that's on the college football schedule this year.
Oh, Vanderbilt.
No.
Oh.
No. This is not the only game that Missouri will play against a team from Massachusetts.
I know what you're going to say. They're going
on October the 12th.
The biggest day of the year.
The biggest day of the year. Missouri
Amherst
will stroll into Warren McGurk Stadium.
Amherst.
And play the Minutemen of UMass. Why is that game happening, and how in the world is it there? I'm just trying to understand how this happens. You get a 2-for-1. A lot of times it happens with a MAC school or whatever. Was there somebody that had I know back in the day, Roy Williams would always say, you'd always try to play, and Dean Smith did this. You'd always try to play. Remember, Billy Owens played. And
Gino does it. Gino does it with girls to go play.
I remember
in their
Jeff
home.
Lebo at North Carolina, and it was a big thing. They went and played in Carlisle, PA, or wherever the hell he was from. I think that's really cool. But I'd love to understand, and I'm sure somebody from Missouri will just tweet us and go, "Oh, it's because of this."
I think
October 12th, Missouri at Warren McGurk in Hadley, Mass.
I think no, it's Amherst.
Out by Groton.
Not even close to Groton.
Near Groton,
next to Chicopee. Dude,
Missouri.
I think Drink wants to beat UMass after beating BC, and he could be Massachusetts state champs.
Fantastic. That's just one of
while
those
playing in the SEC.
Sure. Why wouldn't you? Yeah. I jotted that down. I don't know what that other thing means. What else we have from
27-6, 400.
I don't know what it means. That was somebody. Somebody outscored somebody. Maybe it was Oregon. I don't know. Again, Gabriel was good. I saw that.
They pitched a shutout in the second half?
They did. 27-0 second half. Like the Dirty Terps in Charlottesville. Anything else from today?
You ranked Texas 1?
That means that you think that the Michigan win is enough to make them 1, more so than beating Clemson, or because of a 1-point win against a team you're gonna drop them. I wouldn't.
All right, I'll ask you this: who's been the most impressive team?
I mean, look, Texas has rolled everyone they played.
That's what I was getting at.
I understand, and I don't know. I don't know in a month, 2 months from now, how that win in Michigan. Are we still going to look at that win and go, huh? Because I think that Clemson win is going to become more impressive over time.
That's what I was going to get at, because I wanted, there's always those out of conference games. God, I go back to, was it 2014? Michigan State went out to Oregon. We were there, old game day days, and we took that game, and it lasted all season for an out of conference being comparative. It's not great to do, but I am starting to think the Big Ten is super, super top heavy.
It probably is. It probably is, but you're the top now includes Oregon, right? So you got Oregon, Penn State, Ohio State,
and then Indiana.
That might be premature to put them up that high, but we'll find out.
Yeah,
but I understand what you're saying, because you think Michigan's a step back, and
yeah, I don't know, but that's what I'm saying. I was getting the feeling of that. I mean, you look at what Northwestern. I mean, I know I'm just going through the teams, but like a Northwestern, a Purdue.
Purdue didn't get there plus 10. I just love to yell, "Bang that big ass drum." The drum was not banged a great deal today. They were drummed. 66 in Ross-Ade. I'm gonna have to get.
It would have been different if it was a night game. I thought it was a night game.
Well, Coach, I'm gonna call Coach Saban and just say, Coach, can I get your granddaughter on the phone, please? Just like to get her strategy.
I got one for you.
We have a segment called Winners, and right now they're not. Yes, what do you got?
Big 12 title game.
Kansas State.
Did you watch them last night?
I did.
Did you watch Kansas, UNLV? My go-go offense. Rebels.
Coach Odom, Kenny Mayne, Dalio for the
Hell
shooter.
yeah.
I give them all the credit in the world. They were good last year. They lose their quarterback. They had 3 quarterbacks in camp. They knew, but we didn't know who it was going to be. And this guy, what's his name?
Sluka.
Him.
Holy Cross. FCS.
Right.
Love him.
I mean, he's tougher than the $2 steak, as they say.
They couldn't tackle him last night.
Well, no. That was
an awesome win for UNLV. It really was.
I agree. And I'm speaking of. I said Burden from Mizzou, but McMillan, he's going to go high as well.
Yeah.
The Arizona receiver is spectacular.
Tedoroa.
T-Mac.
That's all any broadcaster calls him. Just yells T-Mac.
Well, he's excellent. Kansas State is. The Big 12 is a mystery to me. I mean, it's this pile of people together. It's like a bunch of people all go to a new school. I mean, who do we sit with in the lunchroom? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know who I don't like yet. I don't know who I'm gonna like. I don't know who we're like. And so it's going to be just interesting to see those games because. And I saw you give out Kansas State on College Football Live.
Hey, watching some content on Friday.
Support my guy here.
And UNLV.
Yeah, a couple of winners. Jesus, I should just find out what he says and then say it.
I walked in this morning. I said, "This is the first time I ever went 2-0 on College Football Live."
Good. It's Kansas State. I will own up to this. I always think they're always good. I just always wonder because their quarterback, I feel like a lot of years they just have some sort of pseudo wide receiver they snap it to and then he runs around. Am I lying?
No, that's what I think is so hard for people that are diehards like us. They've always been the underdog. Always. Mm-hmm. You never wanted your team to have to go to Manhattan that year. Like, if you had a good team, like, oh, shit, we got to go to Manhattan this year. Now they're the upper echelon of the conference, and I thought Reese put it the best, as he always does, before the season started. The Big 12 is not the deepest conference. It's the widest because there's so much to take. And I really think fans are going to love it because everybody's going to beat each other. You've seen it, early on, and
that's a perfect description.
Yeah, and we got a really, really good test next week as Utah, newcomer, goes to Stillwater, maybe the biggest brand that's stayed in the conference. That'll be really, really interesting.
Avery Johnson, by the way, ran for $110. I didn't know what the final number was, so threw for a couple and ran for $110. All right. That's a nice one. Hey, by the way, I'm not a hater, but I want to acknowledge because I had Colorado State plus the points, and Colorado went into Fort Collins that was the last of those sort of this is their Super Bowl game. That's the biggest game on Colorado State's schedule.
Yeah, and they talked a ton of shit.
They did.
Fun. Exactly.
They did. And they talked about, and listen, they weren't wrong to talk about last year's game in Boulder. Everybody treated them like they were a sideshow, and they frankly should have won. But
That's what I was going to say. You blew that one yourselves.
Correct. But look, that stuck in there like a pebble in the shoe. And the longer you walk, the more it bothers you. And the longer they kind of carried that around with them from last year, they were pissed off, and they did. They talked a gang of shit in advance of this game tonight in Fort Collins. And It's 3-0 Colorado State, and it's Colorado's sort of it's field position. They're not doing anything, and I kept thinking if Colorado State gets ahead by double digits here, it starts really getting late early.
Mm-hmm.
But Colorado's defense played well, and Shadur and 12. Travis Hunter's as good as anybody in America on both sides of the ball. So I didn't want to forget that they did that because Colorado State's not awesome, but that's the kind of game that you blow if you aren't a program that's to be taken seriously. And they won the way you're supposed to win if you're a big boy program. And so Colorado did that.
I know it's a rivalry, and I know you don't like that team.
Who?
Talking about Colorado State. You don't like that team. You finally get them in your building. I think Reese said this morning, it's the first time since '96.
They always played Mile High.
Like first week of the year. But you got beat by 100 week 1 by Texas.
Yep.
What makes you think you should talk shit? I don't understand that. Just go out and do it and then talk your talk.
Because you watched that game last year. There were a billion, it was uber personal.
It was 270 yards and penalties.
Right. It was a hockey fight football game. So I understand why they did.
Good for Colorado.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just looking at numbers, just watching it.
Look at their schedule. It's a toss-up almost every game.
That's the thing about last year is that
it's really, really interesting.
They got drummed by Oregon and they got drummed by Washington State, but they also lost a bunch of close games. So they're going to have,
they'll get to prove that they're better.
That conference is. I'm glad that I'm remembering to say this. A proof of what that conference is. UCF was dead in the water tonight.
They won.
They won that game.
Oh, TCU is a heart attack.
They won that game.
Oh, my God.
UCF in Fort Worth came back and won that game. So to Reese's point about no conference is wider, charge on. You know what that means? Church Street, baby. Come on.
Oh, my. That's that conference. That's what it is.
I don't know what TCU's biggest lead was in that game, but it was double digits for sure.
Oh, I thought it was 3 possessions.
They won 35-34.
And that was overtime, though.
No. And at one point, they were down 28-7.
There you go. 3 possessions.
Oh, God, that's disgusting. You can't be up 21 points in your home field.
They got talent, TCU, too.
I know. And that's to get to 3-0, get a conference, get a league win. Ugh. You got to win this.
That's
game.
A free-for-all.
Complete mayhem.
Free-for-all.
What does 27-6 mean? See, and here's the other thing. There's an arrow from over here on the card, but what does it correspond to?
A lot of notes today.
I just sit and watch football. This is why I like doing this.
Yeah.
Is I watch and I jot stuff down. I watch you and you guys watch the game day. Although it's a good thing it's not game day is not on Sunday mornings because starting in 8 hours.
Oh, we got curfew. We got bed check.
Yeah, bed check.
Bed check.
We got flag. We got a doubleheader back to back. We got the little guy. They are Kansas, and my little guy's very excited because they're playing Kansas State. And I explained to him that's a rivalry game. I was like, so whoever the kids are in the other jerseys, you hate them. And then, Big Bro goes after that, and I try to remember, are they USC or Colorado? They're one or the other. And whoever they're not, they're playing the other one. No one cares. But we've got, here we go. Yeah, they're the USC Trojans, and they're playing Colorado.
Ooh.
So that's a big one.
That's got to be a primetime game.
I would think.
Right.
So that's what we got.
Sunday slate.
Big time, yeah. So the good thing about that is that on Sundays I get to get up at the crack of dawn for flag, then stay up late to do that, then get on a plane Monday and go do
bingo.
Do Monday Night Countdown.
That's going to be a fiasco.
Daisy Fresh. What, Monday in Philadelphia?
Philadelphia.
Roy Bade. Kelsey, I say 50-50 just nude. Shirt off for certain. Could be nude. It's fine. It's fine. Did a pod with John Clark up there.
Big Clark.
He's fantastic. Does a great job there. And he was like, "Are you afraid people are gonna be throwing stuff?" Like he's like, "They might chuck beers up," and I'm like, "Actually, no. I'd be like, sure, send them up." I hope the big man just waits until maybe the 7 o'clock hour to start pounding,
or 8 o'clock when he's done on air,
or 6 o'clock, so that by the time we get to the pick segment, he's just absolutely obliterated. So to me, I don't want to like mildly buzzed. No, either sober or wrecked. I think one or the other.
Couple things.
Yep. Oh, on the way out.
Yeah. Our buddy Tommy texted us.
South Carolina fan?
Yeah.
Okay.
This idea that Mellow Mushroom, people eat it, and it's good pizza.
Mm-hmm.
It's not.
I've had Mellow Mushroom pizza. It's pizza. It's good pizza. It's fine.
It's not good pizza.
Well, this is Connecticut guy where the best pizza in America is.
I've expanded.
Okay, to what?
There's one pizza place I eat at in the SEC, Columbia, South Carolina, Village Idiot Pizza. Brian Glenn, New York guy.
Okay, so
talk to me about the water.
That's what it's about.
Bingo.
You need the water for the dough.
It's awesome.
So this is a vote from Stanford Steve. Village Idiot greater than Mellow Mushroom.
Oh God, not even. Like I said, it's the only place I'll eat it.
Okay. And
also, South Carolina swim and dive coaches, staff, Coach Pop, and everybody there. Thank you again for having me.
Where are you guys going next week?
Norman.
Do you have your swim lined up?
We're going to get it lined up. It's been awesome. Mile. I'm down to 10 minutes behind Ledecky.
Okay. Katie, he's coming for you.
She swims it in 9:30. We did 20:30, I think, this week.
I like that this has become a thing. Wherever game day goes, whoever the swim and dive are,
it's fun.
Steve is coming to the deep end. You wear goggles?
Yeah. Yes.
I don't know. What kind of trunks do you wear?
Just a regular. I don't wear a Speedo.
Like,
all right, I'll give you that.
Just picture. I'm trying to figure this out. Like, here comes the big guy to swim a mile.
Yeah.
He's got on his jams and his goggles.
Wear a bathing suit. You know?
I mean, okay. I admire it. You know what I did? I sat on my ass with the boys.
Gotta get out of the office on Friday. It's brutal.
It's probably
tied
good call.
Down in there. Yeah.
All right. Well, I got bed check. We got doubleheader flag.
SC and Kansas. Parlay. We giving points?
I'm done picking games. I you know what I may do? This is a serious business. In the
Tell me
past,
what you should do.
One pick.
NFL.
That's what you did. You gave out an NFL game.
Oh yeah, the Eagles.
I got to do something because this ain't working, bro.
One little tease to Monday.
All right.
You pride yourself
on
going the other way. You're not doing it Monday night.
Listen.
No way.
No. There's two things that are going to happen. Number one, I'm going to start a Wawa chant.
All right.
And number two, I am not going to get those mutants. And I say that with love in my heart. I'm not getting the mutants. They're like, he's an asshole. I'm not going to get them chucking tall boys of Schlitz at me by picking against them. I'm ride or die, Delco, taking the Eagles. Come on. I may take it. I may take this.
No.
I may say they're going to win. I may say they're going to win by less than the number.
Exactly. And also, the lucky thing for you is you're not doing the picks out in the fiasco. It'll be by the time you get in the stadium, so they won't hear you.
I'm shook. I always say I'm unflappable.
It's going to be nuts.
I'm flapped right now about these picks.
Kirk Cousins not good in Philadelphia in night games.
No, and he really wasn't too mobile in week one.
He looks better.
Since then?
Practice video. I watched it.
All 22?
Mm-hmm.
Really? All right. So this is our Saturday night pod. Tuesday, whenever we get back from Philadelphia, we'll knock one out as well. And let's go get him Kansas and whoever my son plays for, whoever it is.
Red just going to sleep there?
No, Red, he's at my feet right now. Red, when I get up, he's going to...
He was on my feet, and then I switched feet, so...
No. Yeah, no, Red's good. He'll come in.
Also, I got to go see South Carolina women's basketball practice.
Serious?
They're going to be pretty good next year. They're loaded. My Lord, what a machine that is.
Dawn's awesome.
She's so good. So good. Saw her talk to her players 5 different ways in about 45 minutes. And it's awesome. They are rock stars, too, on that camp. They run that town, and they should.
I was going to say.
They're awesome. And she's incredible.
All true. Yes, yes, and yes. All right. Me and Red are going to bed. Up early. Go get them some flag. This has been SVPod with Stanford Steve and Red, the dog.
I hope Hunter's is open for last call.
Go get them.